Journey with Judy. Honest, open, transparent. It's hot.
There's no such thing as perfect people. There's no such thing as a perfect life. So come back.
Okay, so you are journeying with Judy Hehr right here on Lake 96.1, and I'm just curious how you all, my daughter Kennedy lives in South Carolina, and when my son Chandler came back from Texas, he adopted the ya all, right? My youngest daughter cannot stand it. So I'm just going to say, how you all doing with your New Year's resolutions? Are you being resolute? Or are you just cashing it in and saying, forget about it? Because here's one of my resolutions. I am no longer going to hate my dentist. Okay, dentists are the most hated profession. I learned this. And they have the highest suicide rate. And I guess because everybody hates them. I mean, I am not the only person who does not only not dislike strongly, but literally the word hate is rampant. Anything about going to the dentist, I just do not dig it. But there is a guy named Dr. Kopp from Crystal Lake, Illinois. He is the man who has totally turned around my feeling about dentists. And it's so funny. I'm going to get to the meat of this in a minute. But when I saw him yesterday, I said, "Are we breaking up?" And he goes, "I think you need to choose a breakup song and make sure there's a truck and a dog in that breakup song." So he wants to break up with me, but the reality is it's a good time for a breakup because you're not supposed to see the dentist more than you see your spouse or than you see your children or than you go to your job. And so the thing about me with dentists, I got like when I met him, and he was a referral from my sister because she said to me, like, "I know you have to have all this dental work done. You got to go see Dr. Bloom. He's just got the greatest bedside manner. You know, he's just amazing." And he is. I mean, he's just like the most patient, kind, funny guy. Keeps you like super informed and at ease no matter what he's doing or is going to do. And so I cannot give him the biggest shout out. But I did tell him when I met him that every other dentist I've ever met hates me. And so be prepared for being so sorry that there is not enough money in the world that would, constitute wanting me to be your patient. So I warned him that however many days down I would be after my procedure, double it. However many pain meds, double it. However many appointments for follow-up, double it. And of course, what do you think he said? "Can I double the bill?" Okay, if I'm doubling all that, can I double down on the bill? So here's the deal. I had all this dental work done, and I mean like a ton. And since I'm honest, open, and transparent, when he said, this dental work can just be our secret, it was like, there's no secrets in the Judy Hehr life. I mean, I know I keep my secrets and my secrets keep me. So I'll be talking about my dental work on many platforms in 2018, because here's the deal. Like at first I was so apprehensive, and then I realized like I'm going to speak blessings on this procedure before it happens. I'm going to talk about how great it's going to be because what you think about is what you bring about. And so I was kind of excited to go and get this done and get these infections and, issues with going to the dentist behind me. So after surgery, I was awesome. Like Bobby could not believe on a scale of 1 to 10. I was giving my pain a 3, but I was still taking the pain meds because why not? I could, and the doctor told me to. And then like by day 5, I went from awesome to awful. Like awesome to awful. And so I've been seeing him a lot. Like we've been seeing a lot of each other, my dentist and I, as we can work through some of these like new kinks in the situation I have going on in my oral life. But anyway, so what you think about is what you bring about. And so even though I was speaking this truth out there was this time where like I just couldn't get my head around like why would God set me up for like the most amount of speaking engagements, and P.S. speaking requires talking for me. It also requires like deep thought, which you cannot do successfully when you are on oxycodone. And maybe you think you can, but I'm just here to tell you it does something to your spiritual perceptions when you are just high on oxycodone. So I'm like, how can I plan? How can I proceed? How can I pursue? When clearly it was no longer dependent upon what I was going to be able to do. And so I was just wondering, like, how is it that God would take the three, okay, let me just remind you, the 3 things that I love to do the most, why would that be even compromised or on the table as something that I may not be able to do to the degree that I think I'm actually 100% sure that God wants me to do? Now, here's the other thing. My daughter Kennedy came with me to the dentist for this appointment last week. And he said, one thing about your mama, Kennedy, is there's only a little drama with your mama. So now I've been confirmed by the dentist that I am over the top in the area of drama. But you are going to want to stay tuned because I'm going to tell you the top 3 things I cannot do anymore. And it makes me super, super sad. You're Journeying with Judy right here on Lake 96.1. All right, so welcome back. You're Journeying with Judy right here on Lake 96.1, and we're talking about my dental drama. And this mama has a lot of drama, and it is not eliminated by the dentist. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It's magnified when I have to go to the dentist, but no more because Dr. Bloom is the man. Okay, I'm going to tell you to go to Dr. Coppin Bloom for all your dental appointments. He is the kindest, nicest man. His fees are reasonable, and he will really talk you off the ledge when it comes to your dental issues, unless the issue is you, which with me, it always is. And so when I went and saw him the other day, I was like, buddy, you did not tell me that the 3 things that I love to do the most, I'm not going to be able to do, or at least temporarily having this setback where it's really hard to do those 3 things that I most want to do. Robs, you want to take a guess? I don't mean to pull you in here, but I'm just wondering, do you have any idea what the top 3 things are that I like to do?
Talk.
Okay.
How about eat?
Eat.
And smooch.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to tell you, I did tell Robin before the show started that I was really feeling bummed out because I was lacking in the talking, eating, and kissing department in the last week since I had some dental work done. Those are 3 things that, like, I don't know about you, but I cannot live without those 3 things on a pretty regular daily basis. And so I didn't know. I was like, okay, God, if you don't want me to talk, it makes sense that he wants me to talk less. Okay, so I could listen more. That made sense to me. But I can't imagine that he wanted me to eat less, although my sister pointed out, the glass half full is that's a really great way to lose weight, is that you can't eat. But when you want to eat and you can't eat, it's like so frustrating, right? And then the whole kissing thing, that's just a whole nother thing. So the good news is it's a temporary setback. I'm looking forward to like the major comeback in those 3 areas where I will be kissing more than ever, talking more than ever, and hopefully eating less than ever so I can keep fitting into my jeans. Anyway, here's the deal. It's not about where we're headed, where we're going. Like, we've got to figure this out. Is it about the journey? Is it about the destination? Because where we are, where we've been, and where we're going are some things we need to be talking about, and not just because it's 2018 and it's time to get resolute about our resolutions that we've kicked to the curb by now, according to statistics. But here's the deal. Is when we have something that we encounter in our life and it doesn't go as planned, that's generally what causes us some anxiety, uncertainty, grief, discouragement, doubt, despair, like whatever place or space you arrive in as a result of that. The fact is there's a solution, an immediate solution where we can allow ourselves to trust over all other things. And so we know that like fear and faith can't reside in the same place. You got to choose one, okay? And when we are people who try desperately to feed our faith and starve our fears, we generally see things from a more, like a more godly perspective, a more hopeful, anticipatory place than we would when we're being driven by fear and lack of trust. So I love our verse for today. It just so applies to everything that all of us go through, good, bad, and the ugly. How hard it is to do that thing that Proverbs tells us. And remember, Proverbs is that book of wisdom, right? Not worldly wisdom. It is actually the exact opposite. It is godly wisdom. It is knowing, seeing, discerning, believing long before we're in the situation. Like wisdom, Joyce Meyer said this yesterday. Joyce, she said, wisdom is doing something now that you'll be happy about later. Now, that's kind of a simple explanation of wisdom, but I love wisdom because here's what it says in the book of Proverbs over and over. If you're wise, you do this, and if you're dumb, and it actually says that in folly, if you're dumb, you do that. Like there's no gray, like you're either wise or you're not. And I want to be a wise guy, like our 3 wise men that we talked about last week. I want to be wise. I want wisdom as a parent, as a wife, as a mother, as a person of faith. I want to be wise financially, relationally, socially, spiritually. Most importantly, I want to be wise. So here, if we're wise, here's what we're doing. We're trusting. We are trusting in the Lord, and we are not leaning on our own understanding. But instead, in every and all our ways, we're acknowledging God because he is going to direct our path. So we've done shows before that are called DWI or OWI, and that's like that idea of driving with intention. Right? Not driving while intoxicated, but in this Judy journey with Judy world, it's direction with intention is our DWI, right? It's driving with the intention of knowing where it is we want to go and getting on the proper path that's ultimately going to get us to that place. And so one of the things I did recently is this spiritual practice where I consecrated my life to Mary. Now, those of you who are confused about why we love Mary in the Catholic Church, we'll save that for another day, but she's just like the greatest mother ever. And so if you knew her, you'd love her the way I love her. And so I consecrated my life to her recently. And so I've been talking about it at my house. And so Campbell said, what does it mean that I don't even care? She said, but I just want to know, like, what was supposed to happen? And I said, I was supposed to be more kind and more loving and more whatever and more trusting. And Campbell said, well, I think you should do it over. I do not think it actually took. So I'm reconsecrating. You can always do over when it comes to Jesus and certainly his mother. But here's the thing. We all need the do over and the second crash course in trusting. Because honestly, how do we know what to do? How do we know which path to take? Because we all know where we want to go or where we want to end up. But how can we know that it's really the direction that we're headed in, getting us to the place that we want to be? So what is trust? Here's my acronym, my friends. Get a pen and paper. Trust, true resolve under severe testing. I love that acronym. Trusting in the Lord means having true resolve. Now, here's what I know about you, not only my listeners, but you in general as a population of people, that you give up. You don't stay the course. You give up, you give in, and guess what? You never win when you do that. My mom reminded me of that the other day, like winners never quit, quitters never win. So when you have true resolve under severe testing, there's absolutely no place for fear. So if we're trusting in the Lord, like this verse is telling us, we're not trying to figure it out, because we know that God's going to work it out, right? We're not trying to figure that out. We're just trusting that God is going to work it out. And here's where it starts. It starts in our heart. Having a heart full of faith and hope and confidence, right? This is not about getting some facts, gathering some figures, or pursuing some insight. That is not enough. This is about, in every single category, every choice, every time, trusting God because he knows what you don't know and he can do the absolute impossible. And so why wouldn't you trust him? Why do we hold on tighter than ever when we're most afraid instead of letting go and letting God do what only he can do? Number 2, and then after 2, we'll have to go to break. First part of that verse was trust in the Lord with all your heart. Okay, not some of it, not part of it, but all of it. The whole part, the broken part, the shattered part, the misunderstood part, your whole heart, you're all in. And not only are you trusting, but you're leaning not, okay, which means do not under any circumstances, like a big old circle with an X through it. Do not lean on your own understanding, because here's the deal, guys. When we tend to view things from our perspective, it is very skewed. When Robin and I pray before the show, we always pray to see things with the eyes of our heart and with the eyes of God. Because when we're looking at stuff through God's eyes, think about it. It just looks different. It just looks different. But here's the thing. We got opinions. We have legitimate opinions that we have formed based on our education and our experience. And so if they don't keep evolving into something that God reveals, they become something that might not be the truth. It might be your truth, but it's really not the truth with a capital T. So here's the deal. don't assume you know it all. Like in my house, we always call people Kias. Okay, we're big name callers in our house at the Hehr house, and so we always call each other Kias. That means know it all. What is a Kia? A know it all. You don't want to be a know it all. You want to be someone who knows what you should do because you have received wisdom from God. Direction begins with submission, but trust has to come first. Okay, you're journeying with Judy. I trust that you'll be back on the other side of the break. I trust that Greg Cunis will continue to sponsor the show, and I trust that God will continue to lead, guide, and protect and provide for every one of my listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back after the break.
In the eye of the storm, you remain in control. In the middle of the war, you guard my soul.
Okay, so I got total chills when I was reminded that in the eye of the storm, that God remains in control. And sometimes we forget that. You know, it's hard to trust. It's hard to have true resolve under severe testing. And so when I couldn't eat, can't talk, can't kiss, like, I got to be trusting Jesus that he wants me to do those three things. He really, really wants me to do a lot of those three things. And so it's just this temporary setback for the big time comeback. So I could not figure out, why I would have a hard time, honestly speaking, when I have speaking engagements on my calendar, literally booked solid from now until the end of March. So why would it be difficult? And so, I had to grab onto this verse, which is why I'm sharing it with you today. I had to absolutely trust in the Lord with all my heart. And I had to not lean on my own understanding, because what I was coming up with was the exact opposite of what I think God would have wanted, the conclusion God wanted me to draw. And so it's so funny because it really has been hard for me to talk because it hurts my tongue. And so I've been quieter than normal, more prayerful than normal, listening more consistently than I have in the past. So come on, anyone in my life is just so happy to know that I'm voice texting less than ever. Here's what I love. I love that when we can literally get to a place of just being at rest and allowing God, to let us feel blessed is such a profound thing to experience. And I just am really digging that. So here's the deal. The rest of the verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Next part. In all your ways, acknowledge him. Okay? In all your ways. Not only in my three issues at the dental in the dental chair, but in my marriage, money, morality, parenting, professional life, like everything, we have just got to be acknowledging him. We got to be factoring him, infusing him into every single aspect of our life and every single path we're even remotely concerning. I know someone who, whenever I talk to them, their response is, let me pray about it. Now, while I find that annoying at times because I might want an answer in the moment because I live on instant gratification, I respect the fact that they take every single thing to prayer. No matter how big or small it might seem, they take it to the Lord and they go to him first. And here's the best part is when you do that, then you can always blame Jesus. I'm big on blaming Jesus if things don't go the way I thought, especially if I laid it at his feet first and it didn't work out. But here's the deal. It did work out because whatever it is worked out the way it was supposed to in the eyes of God. And that's what we're looking for. Even in the eyes of the storm, we are looking to see things through the eyes of God. Because here's what he does when we trust and we lean not and we acknowledge him. He directs our path. See, the promise is that he will do this if we do that. He goes on to say in this verse, if you do this, I'm going to do that, but you cannot have this without that. And if you're anything like me, like I want to be a both and kind of gal, like not either or, I want to be a both and. And in this case, it's both and. Do these things and you will be blessed. He will make the path clear. He will clear the path and make the way. And so you got to be digging that. So you don't have to look back and wish and wonder why you didn't. You can always know that the direction you're headed in is where God wants you to go. And you've got to be digging that. So thanks for journeying with Judy this week. Keep it hot. And do pray that I can be kissing, eating, and talking a whole lot more by our next journey. God bless. Take care. Peace out.